Oh, hello. Welcome to today's Decay, where we celebrate births and beginnings of everything important since the dawn of time. Today is April 29th, and we're going to celebrate all the dates that really rate throughout space and time. Yep, don't forget that little spot. Don't forget that little spot. Thank you. So on this day in 1908, writer Jack Williamson was born, who's featured here on the cover of Strange Tales with his story Wolves of Darkness. That's right. Louis here is not a wolf of darkness. He might be a wolf of light. I don't know. What else? On this day, 1923, John Milton Whitaker was born. Who is that, you ask? Why, none other than Shock Theater's Roderick, a horror host of not that much acclaim, I guess, because a lot of these horror hosts were regional and didn't. Their content wasn't recorded in a way that can be viewed today. It was stuff that was like disposable, put on tapes that were then recycled because nobody thought they'd want to see them several generations later. But they do. We do want to see them several generations later, don't we, pal? What else? Ted V. Michaels, born on this day, 1929. Complete Looney Tune, horror, lowbrow, B-grade director, whom I happen to love. Not personally. I mean, he loved a lot of women. There's this whole backstory of him that's like really fascinating, and I'm not sure if there's like a movie on his life, but somebody should be making a movie on his life. Yeah. What else? 1937, on this day, Hazel Adkins was born. I was very lucky to have seen Hazel Adkins a couple of times in my life before he passed away, and I will say one of my biggest regrets was I had his phone number in the 90s, and the story was he lived in West Virginia in a trailer park of his own, and he had like a bed and breakfast that he would offer people to like stay in one of the trailers on his property. So you could like just call him up and say, hey, I'll be down on Tuesday. And be like, all right, cool, I'll be home. And like, you could just sit there and drink and he'd play music, and like this would be like a trip you could have, And I never did it, and was always kind of like, well, I'm young, don't have that much money, don't have a car. I think those are all pretty good blockers, right? Don't give me too hard of a time. But I definitely thought like, hey, I can do this later. Maybe when I'm a little bit older, have a little bit of money, and maybe even have a car. Right? He understands. Never happened. He died. The end. Ta-da! Big ending. What else is big ending? Godzilla versus Mothra that premiered in 1964. Definitely one of my favorite of the Godzilla films. This is hard to do. I'm going to say Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, is actually my favorite, but Godzilla versus Mothra is up there. I love the peanuts. Those fairies. There's really something about those fairies. So there you go, all day 1929, April 29th, from me to you, from us to you, till tomorrow, goodbye.